In the words of soon-to-be former WWE champion Cody Rhodes, so what do you want to talk about? I'm Travis Helwig.
I'm Darren Miller.
Welcome to Happy Foot, Sad Foot. Following the second leg of the most heartbreaking LAFC loss that I can remember, probably since losing in the CONCACAF final. This hurts on par with the level of losing an MLS Cup. That was sweetened by the fact that we had won the year before. This is a difficult one to swallow, albeit against, and we have to say right off the top, the greatest MLS team of all time, potentially, against the greatest player of all time. That's not making excuses. That is the truth. That's who we were playing against. But that doesn't take away how fucking shitty this feels right now and how, painful that was to watch, especially the final 25 minutes of that game. Darren, how are you feeling emotionally at the moment?
Oh, well, I feel good, actually. No, I'm right there with you. Am I echoing? I'm echoing for me.
I can hear you just fine.
Great. Well, that was so fucking frustrating. I mean, God, we've talked about this a number of times, I'm sure, but it's just like they gave us just enough to make it clear that they could have pulled it off. And, I don't know how I would have felt. For some reason, this is where my mind is going. I don't know how I would have felt if they had just gotten steamrolled. And it's just like, I guess we just don't have it this year. This is just at least I can adjust my expectations accordingly. But they keep saying, like, no, keep setting the bar there. We'll get there. And then not doing it.
Yeah. I mean,
it's just like,
I think this one hurts. Going into this game, we were up 1-0 on aggregate. We said in the post game of last episode, no matter what happens in this game, we have to give them credit for the first leg where they shut down Messi. That remains true. We don't have to give them credit for the second leg.
And also not give them credit for the second leg.
Yeah, we don't need to be kind. I think what I would, they said it on the broadcast. I think this is something that I feel very strongly after this game. That game was lost in our attacking third. We knew Miami was going to throw everything at the wall, and we knew that they have some of the best attacking players to ever play in Major League Soccer. So we knew that we had to score one or more goals, and we had opportunities. Not just that, we had really good opportunities. And Denny Bouanga had 2 to maybe 5 opportunities that last year he would have buried in the back of the net. And in the moments where he should have shot, he passed. And in the moments where he should have passed, he shot.
The confidence is gone.
He's so obviously in his own head.
Yep.
He was making the wrong decision at every single turn. I'm not going to blame Denny Bouanga for a loss in which Aaron Long bumped into one of our players, which caused a handball. But Denny Bouanga could have won that game multiple times, and he got in his own head and couldn't. And if our best player can't be there for us this season, this is going to be a very long season. And that's the case with any team. But Denny Bouanga last year was the reason we were good. And if he's not good, or if teams have figured him out, we're not going to be good this year. And so until he fucking solves whatever's going on with his brain, I have a therapist, Denny. I can send you my therapist. She mostly does phone stuff, so it doesn't matter where you live. You can talk to her on the drive.
Travis, I think we know the issue, and it's probably that he's doing that. He was addicted to goals.
Oh, no.
And he solved it.
He fixed it.
This is mental wellness at its worst.
This is why you shouldn't move to California. There's just too much self-care from Denny Bouanga.
Self-care. We need that addiction. Someone's got to go and corrupt him again.
It really was. I don't know what it is about Denny Bouanga, but in those moments where last year you just knew it was over, I don't feel confident in him anymore, right? Nathan Ordaz played with 10 times the fucking a heart and balls that Denny Bwanga did. Denny Bwanga is doing the same fucking try to cut through 3 people that he does every single game. And it is costing us wins because he is in his head and he's unable to be creative in the final third.
I think at this point, you made a great point that like, if we don't have him, we don't have a team at this point. But I am more interested in that way of looking at things than just like, in a game like this, I don't personally think that it's super productive to point the finger at a particular person. Like, I'm not that interested in blame. If you guys have someone to blame in the chat or wherever, or if anyone's blaming, like, feel free. I don't care.
This is sports talk radio, Darren. We have to blame someone.
But there's just like, what I'm getting at something. There was just so many things that happened in that game. Like, it wasn't like, here's the one thing that went wrong. Like, that was an insane roller coaster of a match.
Dare I say CONCACAF?
It was CONCACAF after dark before dark. Yeah. So that's just to say, blame who you want to blame. I'm just more interested in understanding like what the fuck we need to do concretely to change the way this. One thing I've noticed is that when we finally start playing with urgency and intensity, which I think we did a good job of, personally, this game, we did that for more of this match than we normally do that. I normally find myself very frustrated by how late they start doing that. They did that, but the more intensity and urgency we play with, maybe this is just normal, but the more like haphazard it is. Like, we don't have the composure or the control that needs to go along with that. And the way that Denis was playing, like you said, is kind of the way we were all playing. We created chances and then couldn't finish. I don't know how to feel about the fact that we were creating more chances than usual, but like, what's it worth?
With more possession than usual, right? Like
a lot more.
I saw people complaining that we were playing too defensively, and a lot of that second half we were, which you would when you have a 2-goal lead, right? But we played with more possession than we've played in a lot of our regular season games, and you can look at the possession and see that that's the case. Like, compare it against some of these games that we played on the road. Also, I don't know what the exact possession numbers are. Tell me if I'm wrong. But it felt as if we were trying to pass more. It felt as if we were trying to keep more possession. I hate watching us play in the low block when we have the lead because we're just an unsure team, right? We're an inconsistent team. We've been inconsistent all year fucking long. And we were able to squeak out of Columbus, where we had a 3-goal advantage, and almost blow that game. And this Miami team is way better than that Columbus team. And it shows. And from the moment Messi put in that fake free kick in the back of the net and we all got in our heads, we were flustered, and we looked flustered from the get-go. And it just felt like the players' mentality wasn't there in the way that it was at home. We weren't sharp. We weren't exact. And Miami, you could see how they celebrated at the end of that game, right? They knew how big of a challenge this was, and they fucking fought for it. And they deserved it, right? They played a better, if you combine the 2 games, it should have been 3-2 aggregate. Maybe we should have had a couple more goals along the way, but we scored our 1 chance at BMO, and we scored one of our chances of one of our like 12 chances.
That's the thing. Look,
Miami.
Both of these matches, we could have scored more goals in both of them.
Yeah.
Hi, Cooligans. Thank you.
I've seen people say, "Hey, Cooligans, thank you so much." Where's Vince? Vince is busy getting a Dolo out tattoo on his forehead, but he'll be back for the preview tomorrow. He said,
Vince is actually going in and firing Dolo right now.
Yeah,
he asked him to do it.
They're like, Vince, do you want to take over the role? And he was like, sure. We made a mistake.
Everybody in the chat wished on a monkey's paw. The worst case scenario for Dolo out is Vince in for these people. You guys are sick.
Because Vince likes what Dolo does, so you're just getting more, baby. I mean, look, there's a good amount of, anytime we lose a game, we hear this Dolo out. I don't see a world in which you can complain about the coaching in this game. This was a intensity problem and a focus problem from our players. We had very stupid fucking turnovers from our players. If anything, it's a roster construction problem, right? This is a John Thorrington problem where we, put a lot of our eggs in the Olivier Giroud basket that obviously hasn't paid off. Under last couple of games has not looked as brilliant as he thought he would be for a couple of games. Our bright spot is Nathan Ordaz and Mark Delgado. We lose that game because Aaron Long pushes Marlon, and Marlon accidentally handballs a clear handball. But again, that's not on the coach, right? Like there's, I don't want to get too into it because we've talked about this 400 fucking times. And I'm this podcast am the most anti-Dolo person that is on this podcast. I don't blame him for this, right? I don't. And you can, and you're welcome to feel what you want to feel. I feel fucking sad because we could have fucking scored so many goals in that game if we had Denny Bouanga of last year. But we have Denny Bouanga of this year, and we have Olivier Giroud, who seems to not even show up on fucking corner kicks, where he's the biggest head I've ever seen. And somehow Ryan Hollingshead keeps getting confused with Olivier Giroud because he's the one putting in the fucking work in there, right? Like, I don't blame anyone. I blame Lionel Messi. I'm calming myself down. But, I mean, Lionel Messi, 2 goals and assists.
That guy's good, man.
He's very good. But Denny Bouanga, I can't say enough bad things about Denny Bouanga's game. Just like ugly, start to finish. Every choice he made in the final third was wrong. Every single choice.
And yet there were multiple. He could have made a tiny thing could have gone right for him in 2 occasions in this match, and he could have been the hero. Like he would. It's such a fine line. It should not be hard to completely correct that problem.
I want to just bring up Christian Villa's comment. All this for them to charge us for the Metro passes. If they still auto charge everyone for those fucking Metro passes tomorrow, okay. If you're a season ticket holder and you don't open the LAFC emails, which I am, open the one about Metro passes because they're about to charge you $100 whether or not you take the subway, and it's not a discount. It is the normal rate for Metro, and oftentimes they don't fucking check your ticket on Metro. So like they're just taking $100 from you for no reason. So please, if you're a season ticket holder, go make sure you opt out unless you want to get charged for Metro passes you may or may not use at market price. Absolutely insane. Maybe the first time I've been like really upset with LAFC as an organization is them almost charging me $100 because I don't read the hundreds of emails about bands I don't know that they send me.
Just to be clear, as a podcast, we are anti-charging your credit card for something you didn't buy and pro-fare evasion. And I'm being 100% sincere. Yeah,
100%. Well, first of all, it should be free, right? Public transit should be free. Anything to not talk about this game is what I'll say. But like the idea that it's so like I saw some people be like, don't they always auto charge you? They auto charge you for the playoffs unless you opt out. They auto charge you for Champions League and Open Cup unless you opt out. Those are soccer games. Yes, I bought tickets to an LAFC game. I did not buy Metro passes. And also like imagine if they were like, well, it's Christmas time, so we auto bought you a bunch of wrapping paper from our kids fundraiser. It's like, go fuck yourself. At least have it tangentially related to the product. Okay.
But even they're not to blame. It's the city planner's fault that we lost this match.
I mean, it's Mulholland's fault. It is Mulholland's fault for the way he designed the city around cars. It's honestly...
it needs to be more walkable. Everything would have gone right tonight if the city was more walkable.
What's the name of the guy from The Power Broker by Robert Caro?
Moses?
Robert Moses. It's his fault for convincing everyone that roadways are a good way to build a city.
Okay, back to the game.
Okay, I think that's good for the post game, right? Yeah. I don't think we need to talk about anything else. We have a couple of super chats. I can't bang this drum enough. This is the worst I've felt after a game, I could say, since we lost the Champions League final, right? I didn't feel this low after MLS Cup final. I think because we had won MLS Cup the year before, Champions League final, we had gone before and lost, right? Like this one hurts in a way that it's as a fan, you remember games like this, not because it mattered in the grand scheme of things, but because we had it, right? And it was a statement into the team.
For me, I think the times where I can remember feeling the worst, which is tonight, and it's reminding me of how it felt when we crashed out last season, is when the opportunity felt so ripe, and the opportunity felt like it was right there, and we couldn't pull it off, and we should have. Those are the times as a fan that I have felt the worst. It's not like, oh, we underperformed this season, and like we could have finished in last place, and it's like, well, that's how good we were. And that would suck too, but it's a different, like you feel it in your stomach differently, you know?
This was a game, I mean, let's be honest. You want to beat Inter Miami. You want to beat Messi, right? Like it is important to come out against the best team in the league. And there's a world in which they're on pace to get, I think, 80 points on this season, like an insane amount of points in the regular season while still working in the Champions League. Messi has played 90 minutes for three games in a week and a half. So the guy cares about Major League Soccer. And especially when we outplayed them so well in the first leg, I don't know. Clearly it meant a lot when we won that game. We played really well. I'm not taking that away from us. But we also had to remember it was a 1-0 aggregate lead against an insanely good team. And I think I sort of forgot that.
If we were up 1-0 in a match against Miami, we wouldn't feel great about it.
No, we would not. But again, Nathan Ordaz, bright spot, happy foot. A lot of sad feet. Any other happy feet we should get to before we get
Aaron Long finished. He can finish. He has proven this season that he finishes.
Aaron Long has 3 goals and Denny Bouanga has none.
That's an insane thing to say.
Can you believe that I picked Denny Bouanga with the first pick in the goal scoring draft? And it is there's still a world there in which you win and you have like 3 players.
And it's so upsetting. How are we in this position where Aaron Long knows how to finish off a goal? Giroud is literally a ghost. Bouanga is like stumbling around trying to figure out how to play soccer again. I don't know. I maybe that's harsh for Bouanga because I don't know if I feel exactly the same way you do about him right now because I feel like he at least had the switch flipped on in this game in the last few games where he was creating chances and getting shots off.
But
I want to see that.
He
needs to be able to finish.
Yeah. Well, or at least make the right, like there were moments in which he should have passed where he shot, and there were moments in which he shot, he should have passed.
He's confused. I don't know why he shouldn't be this confused.
He needs to score one and he'll get back to it, right?
Everyone was so scatterbrained.
He has what they call the yips, or what I call an anxiety disorder. I'm sad. I'm more sad than angry. I am angry at Denny Bouanga. I'm angry.
Where was Under? What did you think of Under?
I said it earlier.
Why wasn't he more involved?
He had a couple of smart plays. He gave us a really good free kick in the center of the field that we wasted. He cut across the center and got taken down. I thought
Delgado kept us in a few plays.
Delgado also kept flopping a lot earlier, though. Long gave and Long took away. Long scored. Long's the reason we had the PK. Delgado made a couple of turnovers despite having some really great play in the middle of the field. Tillman the same way. Jesus the same way. I think
we're getting so easily rattled so consistently.
There's no and it's something we've talked about in other episodes. We don't have a leader, right? There's no spine to this team.
Who's going to say hey guys, focus?
Imagine being Aaron Long.
Sometimes that's all that's needed.
Ilie Sanchez just had a aura is the word that young people would use.
Exactly. You could, if you're another player on the pitch, you could just look over to him. He doesn't even have to be looking at you. You can look over to him and be like, okay, and recenter and move on.
Yeah.
And that's not a crazy unusual thing. There are players on teams that are like that. That is a normal thing where you can just be like, okay, the Rock is there.
People are writing super chat over and over again, which means they don't like us talking. They want to hear themselves talk. So let's go to the super chat.
Daniel Jimenez, thank you for the super chat.
Well, that's the only super chat we have to listen to.
Thank you, Daniel, for the support. Bonus Druthers. Brittany Houston sponsored segment. Did Giroud score?
No, did not. Brittany Houston. Brittany Houston, I think, has made the offer multiple times that if Giroud scores, that they will give Giroud their jewelry back. And so far, Giroud has not earned his jewelry back.
Oh, man. If I was a judge, I would make that. Just score, you get it back. It must be returned to him. Daniel Jimenez back. Thank you so much. He says, even 1v1, never felt like Denny was going to score that. He's so low on confidence, sat too low, way too early. Otherwise, squad gave it their all.
He said quad, though. I want to be clear.
Quad gave it their all. Both, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said something similar. I don't have faith in him anymore, right? And last year, if he had the ball, we were like, he could score from anywhere.
It's been that way for a while. I think almost all of the season, when he gets the ball, I'm like, I have no clue what the fuck's about to happen. If he scores, great, but like, I don't know what we're about to see.
Yeah, I mean, and I think like otherwise, I do think that there was a lot of effort. I saw a lot of people say there's low effort. I don't think there was low effort this game. I saw a team that was fighting. I think when you're up 2 goals with 20 minutes left in the game, you're going to sit back more and try to counter, especially when that's normally our game plan. And we did have good chances. We just didn't finish the fucking chances. Right?
Yeah, I have no problem with how much heart they put into this, what their fight was, how much they cared. Like all of that was there. It's just never enough.
After Miami scored, right? Like we didn't give up even after they took the lead.
That's just not going to do it. Like it's necessary. It's the floor. So it's really frustrating when it's not there. But yeah, that wasn't an issue for me, and also was not nearly enough.
But it is. Here's the nuance, right? The intensity was there, but the shakiness was also there, right?
Yep.
So it was scattered intensity, and that's what I'm saying when we need a leader, right? We don't
go for broke.
We need a Vela. We need an Ilie Sanchez. Aaron Long is not the type of person that you look at and go like, are you the most solid person to look to?
Look, they kept saying on the broadcast over and over again, because when it's not Apple TV, I guess I got to give the Apple announcers more credit, because when it's on other networks, it's more noticeable that like there's like 3 or 4 stats just sitting there on a piece of paper in front of them, and you hear them say some version of it like 1,000 times over the course of the broadcast. Yeah. But they would not shut up about how Aaron Long is like number 3 American player with the most CONCACAF Champions Cup experience or something like that.
Cool.
Like that is the profile of a player that could be the guy on your team being like, look, I've been here before. Don't worry. This is what we need to do. Like, take charge. He's wearing the captain's armband and has that stat that I had to hear so many times. And yet he's not doing that. And that's fine. He's not that guy. We need to find that guy, just like you said.
You know who
it's not Lloris either.
I was going to say, I think Lloris is a good captain. I think Lloris could be a captain on this team. He won a World Cup. He is vocal when he needs to be, but like he doesn't. Yeah, no, maybe you're right. Maybe he's not as vocal as he needs to be. He shows he's just the smartest player on the field, right? I'd fucking like I would die for Chiellini to play 10 minutes and just be on this roster, right? But fucking pay him any money and let him sit on the bench and yell at the players.
Maybe we did notice this back then.
I'll say Dolo out if we could get Chiellini as the coach.
Maybe I did notice. Maybe we did talk about this back then, but maybe we did. It is interesting that aspect of the players that you want on your squad is a lot of what we lost in the players that we lost. Between Chiellini and Ilie and even in previous seasons, I would say the other keepers we had were much more vocal and much more like lively. I'm not blaming Lloris for that. Like, I have no problem with Lloris, but the guys that we lost, were those types of guys and not like superstars on paper in terms of their stats. But it's kind of crazy just to experience the lack of that we're stuck with right now.
Yeah, I mean, we have looked good in CONCACAF Champions Cup when we were at home. We've looked bad away. I would argue that of the away games we've played in Champions Cup, we look the best today. And I know that that's insane to say, but we look better today than we did against fucking Columbus. People are going to get mad at me for that because we lost, but we did. We just did. We looked entirely lost.
We generated 100,000 chances against Miami.
Well, Miami has bad defense. We needed we don't have the clinical finishing and the
That's the
clinical passing
reputation,
that we
but
need.
this year, I look at their record. Is that bad defense? Like,
Who,
they're
Miami?
better this year.
Well, Miami's come from behind a lot. They've they can just score a million fucking goals. I don't know. Let's go.
We
to
got more super chats.
Yeah.
Oscar Morales, thank you for the super chat. He says, "Still out Vincent for the coaching job."
I don't thank you for this one.
I'll support Vincent.
Yeah, I'll support Vince, but give him an assistant coach job first, right? Like he's got to earn his stripes a little bit. Plus, he might like Kazım. He might not want to coach.
I don't know if I'm comfortable with Vince getting a job that would require him to leave the show, and I'm happy to handcuff him in that way.
I do think maybe he should have read the paperwork that we made him sign, where he has a non-compete, where he can't work in any soccer-related things if he leaves. So not going to happen because we locked him in thanks to the good.
Weird that he didn't pick up on that because that's literally the only term we put in the contract. It's the only reason we had him sign a contract.
Maybe we get Mike Malone. He got fired today.
Mike Malone, the
Denver Nuggets coach. Yeah.
Oh, Mike Malone. I was thinking the Mike.
We could get
the former Guts host.
Oh no, that's
Mike
what's
Malone?
his name? No, Mike O'Malley.
Mike O'Malley, that's right.
Michael, I would take, but he seems like he has that
cool
sort of
guy.
energy that we need. We need that sort of spine. I mean, I'm never going to convince people to not want Dolo out. I get it. I am, like I said, of the three hosts of this podcast, the most anti-Dolo of the three. I do not blame Steve Cherundolo for this win or this loss. I think we came very close against beating a team that I think maybe is the favorites now that Club America's out. Certainly top two left in the tournament.
I got to get behind my boy Bogusz.
Of course I'm rooting for Bogusz now, right?
I just don't think who's going to be Bogusz. No one can beat Bogusz. It's not going to happen. You're all fucked. There's more super chats.
More super chats, please.
Thank you guys so much for the support in the super chats. Christian Villa says we need a leader. We obviously agree.
Thank you for the super chat, Christian.
Yes,
we truly do.
Timothy Pierce, thank you for the super chat. He says Dolo out chat GPT.
That is what the chat feels like sometimes, right? They're like, we want him gone, and who we want in control is
someone else.
Twitch plays Pokemon. We want all of us in a chat. Choose it. Okay, here's what they want. They want Dolo out, and they want someone to hold the controller.
Us collectively.
Yeah. And then whoever says A or circle, that's where the ball goes. Look, this team has played not pleasant, tense soccer under Steve Cherundolo, but we've also played a lot of winning soccer. Excuses are going to run out this season if we can't win these games, right? And we've looked incredibly inconsistent, and our record in MLS is not great right now, and it's because we put all of our eggs in this tournament. And maybe now we can look a little bit better in Major League Soccer. I certainly wonder what the hangover is going to be like against a very good San Jose team and Chicho Arango and Bruce Arena, who we do need to know what he said and did.
Bruce Arena, tell us.
Oh, while everyone's watching, if you can get a sign on the Jumbotron on Saturday that says, "What did Bruce Arena do?" I will Venmo you $20. And that is a promise. If you can get a sign on the Jumbotron.
Do we want do or say? Do we what do we know about the situation?
We don't know if it's a say. It could have been a do. It could have been a say. So what did Bruce Arena do? You can get that on the Jumbotron. I will give you $20.
And then on the back of it in parentheses, right? We know what Chicho did.
Yeah, we know what Chicho did. We don't want to talk about it because it makes us too sad.
We know what Chicho did and we don't want to talk about it. Don't do that part. Let's focus on Bruce Arena. Eyes on the prize.
The Chicho part is too depressing to talk about. I mean, the Bruce Arena one might be, but they won't tell us. They won't tell us.
Yeah. This is us trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
I do blame the roster construction, and maybe there's still rumblings that Griezmann could still happen. Like this feels different with some smarter players on the field, right? Like our players do not play at the highest level intensity. Ilie Sanchez was our smartest player, and combining him with Giorgio Chiellini and Carlos Vela
won us
a fucking championship, right? And like
Well, I
How
don't know.
is
Like,
Nathan Ordaz our smartest player right
Giroud's
now?
a smart player. That's not translating to performance in that case, at least. I don't know.
Okay, here's an instance where I'm pro Dolo out. If he has lost the locker room, and Vince brought this up last time we talked, if the locker room doesn't believe in Steve Cherundolo, sure, that like I'll have that conversation because I care about these players and this team. That's very important, right? This season has not gone the way we wanted. This Champions League now obviously did not go the way we wanted. I just can't bring myself to blame him for this game, and I'd blame him for plenty of other games this season. I blame this roster construction and Denny Bouanga for this. Truly, I know that there were just so many fucking chances that we know he would have scored last year, and I didn't think for a second he was going to score it. And it's heartbreaking, right? We know how good he is. He's in his fucking head. Someone give him a massage. Someone get him Reiki. Someone get him EMDR. We need him out of his head. We need him to relapse on his goal addiction. And it's honestly, somebody needs to roofie his drink with a goal. We need him to relapse.
Maybe our annual meditation video this year should just be for Denny Bouanga.
That's so funny. Let's see how San Jose goes, because if we lose to San Jose at home, I think we're going to need that meditation video ASAP.
That's the problem. We as fans, I think, still need it, but maybe the better way to do this is to just say, this is for you specifically, Denny. EMDR,
EMDR, what is that? You don't know about EMDR therapy? EMDR therapy seems fake, but people swear by it. And it is, do you know what it is, Darren?
Is that shock therapy?
No. EMDR therapy
that's also still alive and well.
They do it a bunch of different ways where it confuses your brain. It almost is like what is it? Hypnosis, but it's scientifically proven, whereas hypnosis is fake. You just trick yourself into thinking things. So it's you either hold two things and press it side to side, or you move your eyes back and forth while you go over this pattern. And then while you're doing that, you relive and talk about something that is hard for you. And it's something about the physical movement and the repetition that rewires something in your brain that makes it feel less intense of either a traumatic memory or something that is anxiety inducing to you. And it sounds fake, but there's scientific shit behind it. And it's not like a Scientology thing, real doctors do it.
It's not fake, but you did have to say it's not a Scientology
well, because
thing.
every time someone tells me about it, I'm like, that sounds like bullshit.
It sounds a little like Scientology. And what about your thetans? Oh, you didn't mention thetans. It sounds like you mentioned thetans, but you didn't.
That's for your second session. Eye movement desensitizing and reprocessing. Yes, that's correct.
I mean, that makes it sound even more Scientology. At first, when I read that, I thought that was a joke. He was making a joke about Scientology, but that is what it is, right?
Bouanga lobotomy is. I think they're better at them now.
I can't read EMDR and not, for some reason, my brain just, every time I read it, I'm reading TLDR. That's not.
Okay, do more super chats because we're
Jay Gutierrez, super chat. He says, this happened because we didn't get a Miami pre-show.
You know, you could blame for that. Hacks, which premieres tomorrow, season 4.
Tomorrow on Max.
On Max. Not a sponsor, my wife's show. 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, season 4. Just want to let everybody know that. 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's back on Max.
And 100% the reason we lost tonight.
It is the reason we did not have a preview. We had a Monday preview scheduled. I forgot to put in my calendar that was the premiere of my wife's show. And there's certain things that I can miss the show for. That's not one of them. That is one of them.
That you can miss for the show.
Yeah. I went to visit family in Arizona, still made the show, right? I have to go to the premiere of the thing that makes the money that allows me to buy this equipment, because these super chats are nice, but YouTube takes most of it. It's my wife paying for this shit.
That's Hacks on Max. Premieres tomorrow again.
Tomorrow, 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Thank you for the super chat, Thomas Murren. He says, JT out. This roster construction isn't up to our standards. We did talk about this.
Yeah. Thank you for the super chat, Thomas.
I think what I'm realizing with all of this talk, honestly, is that I just kind of watch sports differently than a lot of people. Maybe I'm not unusual. I'm not trying to think I'm unique. I'm just approaching this as much more of a spectator and just watching the game that's out there. I kind of just don't care when I see what's happening on the field, I'm thinking about things that could be happening differently on the field. I'm not like that interested in, well, what if a different person was assembling a different roster? Like my brain just doesn't work like that. I don't know.
I mean, this is a comment. I don't agree with JT out. I think JT's maybe been one of the best GMs in Major League Soccer. I do think that this roster and last year's roster have not felt up to par with what the league standard is right now that Messi's in. I think a lot of eggs have been put in the Griezmann basket, which continues to be a possibility. We don't yet know. And as Vince would say, these conversations are stupid outside of the window because there's just a lot of posturing between sides. But yeah, I don't think this team right now. I mean, we didn't know Giroud was going to be such a big flop. Under, I think, has been good, not great. I would have wanted more from him today. But like, it's not a good look that our most dangerous person up front is a 21-year-old academy player. I mean, maybe it is a good look because it gives faith in the development process and they'll put more into the
It's a good look that he looks good. It's not a good look that no one else looks better.
Yeah. I do think Delgado and Igor Jesus have worked well together. I think our back line has been decent, but not great. We said 2 months ago, this team's not going to beat Columbus Crew or Miami in the Champions Cup. We beat the Columbus Crew. We came awfully close to beating Miami, but
honestly, I wonder what if we map this exact game that LAFC played against not Miami, I wonder how many teams they win against. I guess I don't mean for that to be directed towards any conclusion. It's just an interesting thought, I think.
We can't lose sight of the fact that it's
what would we be saying after that?
Lionel Messi had 2 goals and an assist. He was part of all 3 of
and then after that match, would we be here saying this exact same game? Would we be like, they've got it. We're golden. We're humming. Like,
and at least we know
this is obviously like false equivalencies and like not something you can actually do. This is not a real experiment. And
I'm not making excuses. I'm really not trying to make excuses. This sucks. And we had every opportunity to win that game. We should have won that game, even though we were outplayed. If we finished one of those chances, this is a different fucking post game.
Or stopped. Like there was too much pinball. Like what? That's what's so frustrating to me. Like just don't let that happen.
It does feel like this Ross comment. This team was built to ride Bouanga heaters. When he goes cold, we have nothing else. That's just true. That he for 2 years in a row has been the reason we are as good as we are. When he's not there, guess who's not good? LAFC.
And then we've been propped up by fucking Aaron Long and Ryan Hollingshead.
I do think like we are a team that pushed this league forward and other teams have had to catch up and they fucking have caught up. And it's time for us to figure out the next step for our roster because right now we don't have it. And we've seen with these games where we rotate, we're not deep in the way that we thought we were deep at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
It's just not there.
That was wishful thinking. Another super chat. Thank you, Edgar Corral. Low-key relieved I didn't have to go through another shitty second leg.
Yeah, but if it was against Vancouver, we could have. Although Vancouver's good this year.
Very relieved we don't have to go through a 2-leg matchup with Vancouver.
I don't know.
Not because I'm afraid of them as a team, but because I'm sick of Vancouver.
And don't worry, we'll play in the Leagues Cup soon and be mad about really stupid games.
Sure.
And maybe even the Club World Cup for some fucking reason.
Oh my God. We'll see Miami again in the Club World Cup.
We just have to get out of our group, and I think we can.
Are we going to be in? We don't know.
We have to be Club America, and America's been inconsistent.
Oh, well, I don't. Isn't there like an appeal process that still has to happen, or did that already go through?
It hasn't officially gone through, but it looks as if it'll go to the playoff. We don't know yet.
Okay. We've got a lot of thank you everybody for all these super chats.
It's funny you guys never call out Dolo. We've spent 20% of this fucking show talking about Dolo. And I do call him out. I am, like I said, I don't love the way we play. I've called it boring. I've called it like difficult to watch. I think it's incredibly frustrating. It is the style that he coaches, and it wins a lot of games. And statistically, we can't argue with that. This season, it has not won a lot of games. This is the first time in our history that that's the case. Let's see what we look like in a month or two if we're still losing games, and I'll be more than happy to fucking call for Dolo out. But people have been calling for Dolo out like the day we lost in the MLS Cup. So everybody needs to fucking chill after the first 2 months of the season, and then we can... I'm ready to turn. I want to turn. I need a fucking, like, I really do need someone to blame. I cannot blame anyone but Denny Bwanga this match. I do care. I do care. I fucking hated Bob Bradley for those few years. We didn't have a podcast, but the people I was texting with knew how much I hated fucking Bob Bradley. And they would go, "Who's Bob Bradley? Why are you texting me? This is a baseball thread." And then eventually I had to leave that baseball thread because no one would talk to me about how much I hated Bob Bradley. But like, I am more than happy to turn on the coach, but the results have been there. The results have not been there this year. So let's start thinking about it. But this game is Denny Bwanga's fault. And I mean that to my core. I don't blame any one person. Denny Bwanga.
I don't like. I'm not going to argue with someone who blames any. Like, I don't care. You can think whatever you want to think. I guess. Like, what's funny about it that we don't call him out? Like, I disagree with the premise, like Travis does, but I don't know what's funny about it. Is the idea that like there's some kind of conspiracy going on?
Well, we do.
We're just everyone has an opinion, and these happen to be ours.
Wrong. He just responded wrong. All right, I like you, Isaac. Yeah. Now I'm Dolo out. I'm on your. I'm on your side. Wrong.
I have no problem with people thinking that Dolo should be out. The people just yelling it over and over again isn't convincing to somebody who doesn't agree with that. You guys do understand that, right? Like, you're not saying, here's why I think Dolo should be out. Here's what I would have liked to do differently. Maybe some of you are, but most of you are just saying Dolo out over and over again, which is not like convincing to someone who doesn't currently think that. There's no argument being made other than like just the opinion, which is fine.
What it is sadness misdirected as frustration and anger. We are sad when we lose, and it makes us feel bad. And some of us don't know how to process that. So we go, it must be this guy's fault who's in charge. And we had so many fucking chances to score. I can't reiterate how many fucking chances we had to score. And only like 1 or 2 were good saves. We made really dumb fucking choices in the final third.
Yeah, I don't think again, please feel free to just, if you disagree with me, that is totally fine. But I didn't see a problem with the game plan tonight. Like, I saw a problem with people fucking putting the ball in the net. Also, there was not a shortage of ways we could have done that.
Okay, and this is the last I'll talk about it because we talk about this every fucking postgame where it's a loss and it's boring. If you want to hear people say Dolo out, there is a lot of media made about LAFC that have people saying Dolo out. You could go to any Twitter account
you just hang out in this chat. You can hang out in our Discord.
You could go to our Discord where you can just chat with people in the chat. If you want to hear us say it, I promise you when I feel it, I will say it. Yeah. But you're not going to convince me when I started the show saying, I don't know what we could have done differently besides finish our fucking chances against maybe the best MLS team of all time and against the best player of all time who had something to do with all 3 of those fucking goals. I don't think our roster is as good as Inter Miami's, and we gave them a hell of a fucking fight. And do I think we could have? I think we should have won that game based on how we played. Genuinely. Yeah. And if you want to hear us say Dolo out, go talk. Go. There's so much other things and people you could hear say it. You just want to hear me say it? Okay, Dolo out. Someone clip that and put it on Twitter.
Travis, no.
Okay, I said it, and you can use it however you want.
Oh, no.
I'll tell you when I feel that way. You people are fucking insane. You say the same thing over and over again.
I'm open to being convinced also. I just am not convinced by just hearing it. I'm also just not as it's not a topic I'm very interested in. It's not a topic that I think has the kind of impact that everyone arguing that thinks it has. I disagree with that being like the change that makes the most sense to start winning.
Okay, I'm done talking about Steve Cherundolo because it's a stupid argument that we keep. Just love people writing it over and over again.
Let's talk about something lighter.
That has been saying this for I want to say 3 years. You've been
people are
saying
just
this
blowing off steam doing it. Don't let me like rain on that parade. Have fun. That's fine.
Also, if Vince was here, do you have any? We would not be thinking about your comments about Dolo at all. Go somewhere else, for Christ's sake.
Let's get lighter, right? We have another super chat. Ray says, "Haven't been this bummed since my dad died."
Well, thank you for the super chat. Was your dad Danny DeVito?
Boy.
Let me say, have I been this sad since my dad died? Yes. I have been more sad than this since my dad has died. But this is up there. I feel really fucking shitty, and I'm taking it out on the nice people who send us super chats and watch our show.
The ranked list that we need right now? Is this what we want?
Okay, so was my dad dying the saddest moment of my life?
Yeah. Fuck.
Okay. No, actually, my dad getting sick was sadder than my dad dying. Then my house burning down. That was number 3. Not in these fires. I was fine in this fire. So I have, and then
Travis, we don't need to do this.
Not getting on a Herald team at UCB is like 4.
Oh no, Travis! It wasn't pathetic. It wasn't.
More super chats. You people are fucking.
I blame the chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
You made us do this. Our good friend Vaughn Miriam and Marion Law with another super chat. Thank you so much, Vaughn. Now we're actually getting lighter. Thank you. Thank God. Saving the show once again.
That guy Falcon is on the list. We need to
UFC 314 Ordaz versus Falcon. Absolutely on the list. Did we put him on the list officially? I don't know if we did, but 100% on the list. Fuck that guy.
A piece of shit was trying to bait Ordaz all game. Ordaz played smarter than him. He also got hit in the head.
And other guys too. Half his game plan is just like fucking half fighting with. That's not 100%. Soccer.
He's on the list.
Fuck off, man. Come on.
We've officially added that ugly motherfucker who looks like an uglier version of Darren to the list.
Wait, what?
I said he looks like an uglier version.
Come on. I said Cody and Cambria last time.
Yeah, but he looks like, you know who he reminds me of is John Belushi in Animal House, when his hair is like really, really big.
You see, like he's completely, like he doesn't even look like, he's got like a beer gut. Like, what's he doing on, like...
What he's doing,
he plays exactly like you would assume a guy who looks like that plays, because he doesn't look like a soccer player. Like he's not. It's just a guy. They just got like a guy who's an asshole. Like he's going to his second job as a bouncer at a club after this. Like who is this guy?
Who did he? He's the lead singer of the Counting Crows. Who did he pay off? Who did he pay off to get on that team? Isn't he the lead singer of the Counting Crows? That guy? I think he actually is.
But like Meteor.
I just feel like Herald Night in New York or LA. It was New York, so a much better Herald Night I didn't get on. So I would be actually very sad if I didn't get on the LA one. Jesus Christ!
I never auditioned for Herald Night. I just stuck to Mon Night.
Let's keep to. There's so many super chats we got to get to.
Yeah, we got to get through this.
But I will say, Ordaz's aura. He was going to win that fight. Ordaz is the coolest. We thought. We talk about vibes guy. Nathan Ordaz is the vibes guy.
That's checked off. Make him captain. That box finally checked off.
Make Nathan Ordaz captain of this fucking team.
Absolutely. Honestly, let's see if he can do both.
Honestly, give him number 10. Vela's not coming back. Give number 10 to Nathan Ordaz. He's our fucking leader.
Still, after this leg, still the Messi of LA.
Better than Messi.
Better than Messi still.
We got to quietly take those t-shirts off the website.
Oh yeah. Is there a way to change a web page, to take a web page down extremely slowly? Can it fade out
quietly? Yeah. Yeah. Now limited edition Ordaz better than Messi t-shirts available at happyfoot7pod.com.
Yeah, very limited. Another super chat from Sebastian. Thank you so much. It's now a must to protest against Cherundolo. What a strange way to phrase that. It's now Sebastian, a must to protest against Cherundolo. Poetic.
Thank you for the super chat. We love you, Sebastian. No.
Oh.
Next comment, please.
Efrain Benitez, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, "Can Amirian Law take my case against LAFC for wasting my time today?"
I think they only do personal injury, but I do think mental
Is that an
injury
injury?
is personal
That's
injury.
the question. Vaughn, if you're still around and you can weigh in on this, does this count as injury?
I think mental stress does count as an injury, right?
You would think so.
Class action. We could get a class action going.
Vaughn?
Vaughn, how much money you want to make?
How does this
we'll
work?
Vaughn an email, I'm realizing. We got to email him back.
Wait, where are we? Marcos Ramirez, thank you for the super chat. Dolo out, the golden retriever in. Okay,
hold on,
that maybe.
Say, this is my favorite comment we've got so far. Fuck this podcast. Honestly, yeah. I don't want to do this either.
If you don't like what you're seeing, I don't know why you're here.
But please super chat it. We shouldn't have actually put this out. I want
you gotta pay to say that. You gotta pay for the negativity. Come
on. I do think there's nothing I like more than people being mad at us in the chat. It's a real
it's really funny.
Of mine.
Yeah, it's funny. I get it, guys.
I'm more mad about people being mad at Dolo than people mad at us.
But the golden retriever, maybe this is the one angle that I'm okay with it. Okay, just for the record.
There's no rule that says
there's
a dog
no rule.
Can't coach soccer.
That's right. We all knew there was no rule that said a dog can't play soccer.
Yeah.
But there's also no rule that says a dog can't coach soccer. And that dog from the franchise at this point is older, probably not able to play.
Yeah, honestly, golden retrievers don't last that long. Let's be honest.
I think coach is the better role at this point.
That golden retriever's got, if it's not gone, has thyroid problems, and that's the truth. That golden retriever has a big fucking tumor on its back leg.
I mean, I'm very fond of my dog, but she has kidney disease. She's getting very old. I don't think she can handle it at this stage.
But and I think dogs are both mutts, and they're like holding up. Yeah, that's why you get a mutt from the fucking pound. They fucking hold up as opposed to the inbred dogs.
They've seen shit.
Yeah.
And for
they got that Nathan Ordaz in them.
They got that Ordaz. The Ordaz levels are off the charts. That's what they say when we went to pick them up for adoption. They said they've got all their shots and they measured very high on the Ordaz.
He might hit you in the face and get away with it. Now that it's over,
give you a little thumbs up.
Should have gotten a red card.
It was out of context, Travis. Efrain Benitez says, "Thank you for the super chat." He says, "I'm just tired of watching this counter-attacking playing style that mostly results to nothing because our best player's out of form."
I think that is a very fair reason to dislike Steve Cherundolo as the coach, right? The way that his style of play is a messy, muddy, defensive-focused style of play. He's a defender. And I think a lot of people who've been frustrated with him for a long time have said this, like, Bob Bradley was a more fun team to watch. We've said it. We scored like 8 goals a game and we still lost. Like it's a much more fun product. And so I am willing to give you that LAFC has not been a fun product a lot of this year. But I also think product for a few games, but most games we have not.
Also, like directly to his point, I get the idea that you would think if the style of play isn't going to work because Bouanga's out of form, the question is, at some point, is Dolo going to make the call that, like, I'm no longer... He is, on paper, still relying on Bouanga with this style of play. So at some point, does he change the style of play to adapt the reality that we're in, which is that you can't count on him? And I think that is totally a valid argument to be like, I disagree with Dolo on where the line is there, that you need to actually make that tough call and change the style of play around the assets that you actually have today, not the assets you thought you had on day one.
But I think this is a nuanced point, right? Like,
yeah,
I don't know if you should do that because I think watching Bouanga, you can see the form is still there. He lacks the confidence. He really is in his head in those final moments because he wants it really fucking bad. And now he's in his head about making the right decisions. He's in his head about how he can hit the back of the net. But like, there is no world in which Danny Bouanga last year misses that 1v1 against the keeper. There just isn't. Even that header, there just isn't. It was I think you got to just keep trying it because if he unlocks, we feel a lot stronger again. But he hasn't unlocked. Giroud is a fucking waste of however many millions of dollars we gave to him. And so it just feels like we're stuck in this rut of 1-0 games that we luck out winning. But I don't know,
Which
man.
that could have been another one.
Keep going with these super chats. We got a lot. Thank you everyone for hanging out.
Should we take a break from super chats and get to some callers? People have been waiting.
Sure. We have a lot of super chats though, so I don't want to miss them. But go ahead. Yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah, let's go back and forth.
Let's do a caller and then a super chat.
Who is here?
Justin was here first.
Justin, welcome to the show. I'm unmuting you. You're on. You're here. You're in the netherworld.
Any happy feet or sad feet? Do you want Dolo out? Do you want to yell at us?
First time, sad time.
So glad that you finally got the courage to call for the first time.
First time. I just had to, you know. After
it's so nice to meet you.
Oh, thank you. Sorry. I kind of want to go back to what you guys were talking about at the beginning of the show when you guys were talking about like having leadership and having a captain. We, on paper, do have the leaders. I mean, Lloris was the captain for Tottenham for a decade. He was the captain of France for a decade. Last time I checked, both of those things are kind of more important than LAFC, you know.
How dare you?
Who?
How dare you? Tottenham's more important than LAFC. Get the fuck out of here.
He's on the team. You know what I mean? Like he's on the team. He's the captain of the team. That's for him. That's important. Giroud was also like the vice captain of France. He was the vice captain, and at times.
Whoa, vice captain of France sounds like an awesome job, though.
Yeah, it sounds vaguely like Nazi adjacent.
But you know, because his buddy Lloris was the captain, he's the you know the SS officer of the whatever. And
yikes, tough turn,
slippery slope. Keep it moving.
Yeah, I'll keep going. No, but like you know, to be honest though, like I was reading interviews because I kind of follow Milan, and I'm reading interviews about Zlatan being really excited to bring Giroud to Milan because he said, you know, well, he's another leader in the locker room. He's an adult. He's a grown man. He's someone that could lead our front line, and he did for the most part when he was at Milan. He kind of delivered on and off the pitch. And of course, we have our actual captain, Aaron Long, who, again, should be good enough to kind of steady the ship. He's been the captain at Red Bulls for, I don't know, 5 years or whatever it was. Like you said, the graphic says that he has the most experience for an American defender, yada, yada, yada. So like on paper, we should have the captains. And it's one thing that I kind of, you mentioned this a couple weeks ago, and I've been kind of watching, you know, after half times or before the games, they have those pre-huddle, you know, pre-whistle huddles. And you're right, when Giroud's in there, he's talking to the team. When Lloris is out there, which he is the whole time, he's talking to the team. Long will kind of say a few words, and then they clap, and then they go, and then they play. So it's like they're there, they are talking. Bouanga doesn't really talk, which again, you don't really expect him to. He doesn't speak English. I don't think he speaks Spanish. So it's one of those things where it's like we do have the leaders on paper. It's just whether or not they care, you know. I don't know if Giroud actually actively cares, and I don't know how much of a leader he's actually trying to be, or if he's just kind of there for vibes, right? But the one thing that kind of bugged me was the fact that, you know, we had our two leaders on that, you know, I don't know what other way to say it, but that pop fly that hit Marlon's arm, and neither of them did really do anything. Like I figured Lloris would probably try to punch that out or try to grab it or at least scream. They were just caught in the moment, and I think that was kind of our game in a nutshell, just kind of caught in between moments and not knowing how to react to things. I noticed that from the midfield a lot, from Tillman today, from Delgado today, just kind of that that split second too late to kind of react to things. Bouanga, same thing, kind of got caught in between moments. Do I pass? Do I shoot? Okay, I guess I'll shout, you know, I guess I'll do both and just sky it. And so I just think that's something that is really like affecting the team. It's just, they don't really have that kind of boldness. I don't know what I don't know how to say it in English, but like,
no.
Do you know what I mean? Like they just don't have like that, okay, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing. And that's the thing about Ordaz that we like so much, is because he has one speed and he's doing it. He's gonna go. There's no second guessing from Ordaz. But like all these
there's
other
no
guys, even
fear in Ordaz, right? There's a calmness even when he's chaotic.
Right. And I think a part of it though is because he also knows like, hey, this is my chance. Right? Like all these other guys that we have, like they're gonna have dozens of other chances, or they're at the end of their chances, right? Like they know, they're like, okay, well, this is my last hurrah anyways. You know, like I'm really bummed out by the loss, but I'm also excited at what's gonna happen going forward. I'm a big history guy. Like I'm actually a history teacher at a high school, and I'm really fascinated with like moments in time what could have happened. Of course, we know looking back what happens, right? But what are some of those deviating branches that we can look at, right? The causes and effect situation. Last year at this point in time, we were dog shit. So what happened?
Oh, yeah.
Well, all of a sudden, we're signing Giroud, right? JT leaks it to Tom Bogart. Tom Bogart tweets it out, and before you know it, oh, we got something to look forward to. Well, Tom Bogart he dropped an article today talking about, what signings do these players, do these teams need? What players do they need? Well, guess what he talked about when he talked about LAFC? Griezmann. Is he coming? They need to find a solution, yada, yada, yada. So if Bogart's not kind of going either way, I'm kind of expecting something to leak out soon, just to kind of distract the fans. Because again, and I don't want to bring it up again, but like, do I think Dolo should get the sack just to be the sacrificial lamb? No, but would this be the case in any other league? Yeah, because JT's his own boss. JT's not going to fire himself. He's the guy that's in charge of the roster. He's not going to get rid of McGinnis. McGinnis just got here. This is not his roster yet. So what is he going to do? He's not going to fire his coach, because I kind of agree with you guys. He's not going to fire Dolo. That's his guy. So what does he do? Is he going to leak something? Is there going to be rumors coming out, something to distract us? Because if we lose to San Jose, I think things are going to look pretty ugly. Again, I wouldn't be shocked if the 3-2-5-2 kind of just does what they do when they're upset, and just kind of, silent counts and all those type of things. A silent chance, I should say. But it's just really interesting to see what's going to happen going forward, because I will kind of disagree with you guys. You guys are saying this team is very inconsistent, but I think they are consistent. They're just not very good consistently.
Yeah, that's fair.
But honestly, like,
Damn,
but
you got us on that one.
But even if you look at our results in this tournament alone, guys, we lost against every team we played. We lost every leg, one game.
Yeah,
we lost against Colorado, we lost against Columbus, and now we lost against Miami.
Yeah.
And it sucks, because like that's our level, right? But like we haven't played any international teams.
Okay, but any sad
yesterday. Okay, this is my sad. No, this is my. No, but okay.
I was joking. It's all sad.
Last thing. But this is my last thing. Like, I'm looking at the Cruz Azul game yesterday against America. Bogusz, who might be our most skilled player in the midfield that we've ever had by a mile. I don't think we've had anyone in the midfield as good as him when he left, right? He's just another guy at Cruz Azul. Right? And so like when we compare ourselves against the Miamis and the Columbus, it's like, cool, yeah, we can compete. But when we're in these tournaments, we can't. And that's kind of hard for some of us to swallow, because again, it's just, is it the roster's fault? Is it the league's roster construction rules faults? Like, we can't really blame Dolo because we had to get rid of, you know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it's, if you're used to following certain teams in certain leagues, there's always going to be an easy solution to it. We'll just buy new players, just sack the coach, get a new one, get a better one, on to the next one. We can't do that here. And I think that's what makes people mad.
The roster construction thing, I think, is an underrated part of this. I think, where it's like, yes, we clearly are not working in certain ways. Well, we can't fucking pay for another DP. I don't know why I said it like that. DP.
A DP.
A DP, like a
DP.
But like Giroud's taking a slot now. Under's taking a slot until the summer. Bouanga, who has it, but yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question real quick? And this would kind of be the last thing before.
It better not be a smart one.
No. Like, I'm really interested to see which direction the front office goes to at the end of the season, because like half our squad, I believe, is on a contract. While I was watching Miami them celebrate on the field, I kind of asked myself, do we just blow this team up? Do we just sell Bouanga high? Do we let Under go?
Whoa.
Do we just, because I mean, Bouanga's never going to be as good as he was last year. He's just not. He's super limited. We saw that today. Martinez, do we keep on to him for another year? I know he didn't play today, and that kind of sucked, because we would have loved to see him against their defense. But this team just doesn't. We've seen what they're capable of doing, and they're capable of losing, in foreign tournaments. And I think we kind of have to take a step back and say, hey, Dolo, do you have another year? If they decide to give him another year, and say, hey, we actually got to build a roster that you want, because we clearly haven't.
You got a lot of fans. Justin. People are.
Thank you.
People are loving your calls, so call in more often.
I try. But it's just one of those things where it's it's hard for us to kind of wrap our head around it. And two, like it's another thing, it's a cultural thing, it's a soccer thing. It's always the easiest thing. Just sack the coach. Just get rid of the coach. Like if you follow the Premier League, they lost in the FA Cup, just fire the coach. He's gone. And so a lot of our fans are conditioned of that. You know, it's even worse in Mexico, right? The fucking coach looked at the director the wrong way. He's gone, right? And so like when we try to apply that to here, to American sports, it doesn't really necessarily apply. I say that, and then Mike, like you said, Mike Marola just got fired for no fucking reason. But you know, it's tough for a lot of us fans to kind of wrap our heads around because our solutions aren't real solutions anymore.
Yeah. I think that's a really fair point. And it is like something that we've tried to talk about. There's a nuance to why this league makes it harder to build a team as good as some of these teams we're playing. Miami obviously is about to get Kevin De Bruyne. So if you can get Messi to come to your team, they don't make the rules apply to you anymore. But that was the case with Beckham and the Galaxy in the past as well. But yeah, we got a lot to get to, but I think you made a bunch of really great points, Justin. Thanks for calling. And,
thank you, guys.
I know it was your first time, so it was really great.
Yeah, thanks. You got to come on more often.
I would love to. Thank you for that.
Yeah. I think he had a UCLA basketball shirt on. Just want to say, go UConn women's basketball.
Whoa.
I waited until he got off for that.
I want to say because we didn't get that into it. He made great points in the beginning of that about the fact that on paper, we do have guys that have experience being effective leaders in the particular way that we're talking about. I mean, everyone on the pitch is a leader in a certain way. You're a professional soccer player. But yeah, I don't think I had thought enough about the fact that like multiple guys on this roster have been good at fulfilling the role that we need the most right now. That's kind of wild.
Yeah. I do not have faith in Aaron Long as a leader of the team. I don't hate Aaron Long. Aaron Long scored our goal today. I think Aaron Long's a good player. He's just not who I think of when I think of so like when a team gets as easily rattled as we do, we need someone who has some sort of fucking gravitas, and Aaron Long doesn't have that. Wow,
Huge
a lot
Justin
of
fans.
positive
Huge Justin fans. I love it.
Wow, the new he's the Hulk Hogan to Jeff Talks.
Oh my God, the Hulk
Andre
of
the
the
Giant.
Hulk of the pod.
The Hulk of the pod.
The Hulk of the foot.
Some more super chats. Ephraim sent another one.
Oh my God.
$5. Thank you so much, Ephraim, for always sending the super chats. At least my first team Barco won today. Hashtag Dolo out. Hashtag JT out. Hashtag bench Denis. Now to distract myself with some wrestling. Peace. So he gave $5 and then left. We talked about most of
Ephraim
this.
out.
I will say
that.
I'll say Arsenal also beat Real Madrid, so that's good for a Barca fan as well. So or Barca, who gives a shit? No one expects me to say things correctly. Thank you for the super chat. We've already talked about all the other things in there. I'm going to WrestleMania too. I'll see you there. Super chat from Thomas Murrin, $4.99. Thank you so much, Travis. My wife went to the DGA hack screening. She said your wife's suit was fire.
Wow.
I have a hot wife, everyone. I have a wag. I
think he approached that in the most respectable way possible, which is like, this is what my wife said.
Yeah. My wife said your wife can get it. Yeah. I agree.
Travis, do you agree?
There's some nuance here, right? Just a fist comes from across. I've been locked out of my bank account. Again, April 10th, tomorrow. Hack Season 4 comes out. 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think they have 100% of Rotten Tomatoes. No, the first season they have like 96%, and then they have 100% season 2, season 3.
These are the advanced stats we should be talking about, people.
Honestly, and if you want to dive deep, even on Metacritic, which is a harsher standard, 94 season on Metacritic. So if you're not watching Hacks,
Human Hacks Crazy Wall,
you're stupid. You're stupid if you're not watching Hacks. Hacks in, Dolo out. Gene Smart as the coach of the team.
Gene Smart for coach. Oh man, that would be awesome.
Well, Ted Lasso would be fucking pissed.
Man, we're recording tomorrow. Why are we doing that?
Well, it's not it's on at a time. It's on all day, so you can watch whenever. It's just
I have a job.
Heidi Nichols, thank you for the super chat, $10. I'm just sad. Take my money. That's like what everyone does at a strip club. So thank you.
I think she's saying we're hot.
I think that this is, I said it at the beginning of the show. I feel really sad. People will be like, cry, LAFC fans. I'll be like, I feel like it. I feel like I want to cry. We should have won this game.
It's so funny when people are like, cope. That's what we're doing.
Literally, I'm trying to cope. Our job is to get on here and see if we can cope while 400 people scream at us in the fucking chat.
Cry more. I don't know. I'm crying the amount I'm crying. I don't know.
I would be crying if I wasn't on Lexapro. Honestly, like if I didn't have a mood, it's not a mood stabilizer. If I didn't have an SSRI in me, there would be tears. I wanted to cry watching that game. There is a sadness coursing through me that I think some people allow to translate to anger and anger at certain people. And I'm letting it drift that way towards Denny Bwanga for me, where I'm getting really angry.
You're really pointing to you're really pointing.
And at the chat, I've gotten angry at the chat.
Yeah,
you can tell I'm really sad.
Some shit tonight. Yeah,
I'm sad when I really go after the chat.
I'm gonna poke at this a little bit with a super chat from Mikey. Thank you so much, Mikey. He says we are not back. Dolo out. Travis, tough from the chat.
Mikey, I also got mad at Mikey in the Discord for saying Dolo out. If you want to see me mad more often, go to Discord.
Honestly, that's the only place you can see me mad as well. I have gotten mad in the Discord. I'll call that a perk of joining the Patreon. I think that's the only context you could possibly see me mad, even in the rest of my life. Is my podcast Discord is where you can see me mad.
Mikey, thank you for always sending super chats. We love you, and I'm sorry I yelled at you in the Discord.
Shard47 said, thank you for the super chat. He said, Jim Curtin did so much with a shitty Philly team. Dolo parked the bus and made no subs. Dolo out. I will give you credit at least for being specific there. I can appreciate that you actually have complaints about choices and things that are happening in a game. So I do appreciate that. People agree or disagree with what this guy's saying.
Do you think this comment was designed in a lab to make me really upset?
It's all kind of breezing right over me at this point. Like it's not making me mad.
I will let Jim Curtin
be our coach. Person thinking this. It's fine.
And this is better. This is a better thing to say than Dolo out, right? He's saying, I have a person that might be as good, or if not better.
Who happens to be available right now, right?
Yes. Here's what I don't like.
There's some logic to this.
I don't like how bad of a dresser he is. And I think if we're going to let Jim Curtin coach us, I need to have a one-on-one conversation with him. Me and the menswear guy. And we need to meet Jim Curtin outside of Uniqlo, and we need to have a word with him. Because maybe it's not Jim Curtin's fault. It's the fault of the MLS pundits who also have no taste.
I think he's just out there getting dressed. Honestly, that's my theory on it, is that he's just out there getting dressed and everyone's like, look at this guy, the ultimate style.
I'm not saying Steve Cherundolo is a good dresser. In fact, today I thought he looked like he just rolled out of bed. He looked like he needed a fucking haircut. He looked out of his mind. But I will say he looked almost Falcone-esque.
Whoa. That's an ugly me, apparently.
In fact, me and Jim Curtin have a public feud because I know for a fact he heard what I said on the Cooligans about him. And I don't think he was happy. He seemed mad.
Jan Carlos Mercedes, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, can I get an oh yeah?
Oh yeah. Is that the Entourage thing?
It's the Entourage. This guy's from Miami. Look at that photo.
There's a TikTok thing from a while ago. But I do like it being more about Entourage. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is that what he says in Entourage?
Shout out to Jane's Addiction.
Man, Entourage. No, let's
truly don't know where you're going with this.
I got the first season of Entourage.
You're saying got a bad DVD. Rap but didn't deserve it? Or are you gonna
I'm gonna say a funny sentence and then we're gonna move on.
Okay.
I got the first season of Entourage on DVD for free from going to a taping of The View the day before my senior prom in high school. Move on.
Yep. Yes, you did. Tyler Ferguson, thank you so much for the super sticker. Love it. Sam Ramirez, thank you. A lot of podcasters are scared of saying Dolo out, so it is a conspiracy theory. See where that goes. See where that goes and report back.
Here's what I want. Follow the money, okay? Because they let us film post games in the stadium, so that must mean we're working. Payroll. We're working for the good people at LAFC, and that they never get mad
that go into the
at
press
what we
box.
say. It is a conspiracy. I'm working directly with all the other podcasters. We've gotten together and we said we need to protect our guy Steve. And Steve, and you want to know why? Because Steve and us are in the Illuminati together. And
I think people are underestimating how effectively we would be able to take advantage of it if we were either being paid off.
Our lives would be so much
LAFC
easier.
Or Steve Toronto. If we had this connection that would be the reason why we talk this way or think this way, as opposed to just happening to have these opinions, I would be leveraging that so much better than this. This is like, I'm taking offense to this, not because of some kind of hit to my integrity that you think I have. My ability to make my life better in that situation is so much higher than you think.
And I want to go even the other way, right? If we just said Dolo out, our lives would be so much easier on this podcast. Dude,
that's true.
And the amount of engagement we would have would explode. It would be like the smart thing for us to do as creators would be to come on here and be like, we got to fire Dolo. We would whip you guys up and tell you why it's the biggest fucking problem in the world, because there's already a lot of people who believe it, and they're not going to be swayed by us. And that's fine. And at the moment, I'm not being swayed by you. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm telling you what I think. And enough of you stick around that I think sometimes you want to hear that. Right. But like, if we just fucking said it and got on board, these would be more fun because we could agree with the mean commenters, and then we could hopefully get everyone else on board.
Our big common enemy.
And honestly, we could get so many. We could make so much more on Super Chat. Maybe we should actually talk about it, Darren. Let's offline about whether or not
Super Chat. So sorry to interrupt you, Travis. Tyler Ferguson, thank you so much. He says, "Wait, who's Dolo?" Interesting thought. Makes you think.
Great question. I wish I didn't know, so we didn't have to talk about it.
Sebastian with another Super Chat. Thank you. He says, "Oh yeah, depression." Depression.
Thank you for the Super Chat, Sebastian. Sebastian, I do believe if you're the same Sebastian that calls in, I do believe you're younger, so I don't want to take your money. Don't send any more Super Chats. Thank you for always your support, but if you're the same Sebastian that calls in, please don't send us any more money.
Timothy Peters says, join us at Grand Park on Saturday for the big Dolo out rally. Neil Young is playing 9 a.m. Everybody make it out. Dolo out. Get over there.
Neil Young. Man, that's really going to get the people going.
Do you know what he's doing here, Travis?
What?
I think, is this not him directing people to the Bernie Sanders rally?
Oh, that's so funny. I didn't know that.
Isn't Neil Young wait, am I
yes,
mixing this
no,
up?
You're right. It is Neil Young. It's like it's a
and
funny
Maggie Rogers.
Like, it's Neil Young and Maggie Rogers, which is the most like, I don't know. I love
There's
Neil
someone
Young.
else. Joan Baez.
Yeah, that's cool. But again, her and Neil Young get up there. Joan Baez dated Bob Dylan, right?
I don't know. This
Who's
isn't a music podcast. Don't make me know stuff about music. I don't know shit about music.
I think Joan Baez dated Bob Dylan, and Bob Dylan looks like the oldest man on the planet. And Dolo out. I'm here to say Dolo out
rally. Everyone make it over there and just see what people have to say. Where are we with this? I really want
to. Trafico Radio is here to say, I hear Vanny out way too much. I'm glad that we're all dealing with the same fucking problems. Finally, some solidarity between the teams.
There was a full-on Vanny out like strike. It was like a protest movement.
If we hadn't gotten to the quarterfinals of the Champions Cup and we had Galaxy's record right now, I would be more. If we continue to lose games in Major League Soccer now that we're out of this tournament, let's have the conversation. I can get there. But let's give it some time where we play one game a week. And if we're still losing and we're still playing games as shakily as we played some of today, and we're still making stupid mistakes, then yeah, I can get there. I'm not opposed to getting there. I'm not there yet.
Another super chat from Daniel. He says, "Thank you for super chat, Daniel. I've seen this type of result too many times. I wonder if it's a culture issue. It starts at the top. JT
Vance. JT Vance. I maybe. Who knows?
I don't know. You're just kind of throwing spaghetti there, in my opinion.
And again, I do think JT maybe threw a lot of eggs in the Giroud basket. The Griezmann basket also seems like there's a lot of eggs in there. You got to hope that we're going to pick up those eggs at the Easter egg hunt and bring them home and not leave them over there. At Milan.
Easter coming up.
Big Easter pod for us.
I definitely empathize with the frustration here. If it's a culture issue, that is like an interesting question. I don't think we know anything enough to like actually wonder about, like, have any information there, but it's worth looking into, I guess. Yeah, maybe. I
don't have any evidence for it. Sure. We give, who knows? Wait, before we get to super chat again, Isaiah's been waiting for a long time.
Yeah.
Let's get Isaiah
Sorry,
on. And
Isaiah.
I also quickly, Isaiah, before you speak, I do want to say, if you're watching,
Isaiah, shut up.
Subscribe. Please hit subscribe. We haven't asked you yet. Give us a thumbs up and a subscribe. Isaiah, thanks for calling. We'll talk to you later.
What's up, guys?
Nice to see Isaiah. Any happy feet or sad feet from a joy of a match?
Shocking happy for Bouanga.
Whoa! Bouanga. Yes! Bouanga. This is what sports is all about.
An hour and 26 in, we're getting into it.
This is why he was waiting. He knew it was a take. Let's go.
First 25 minutes of the game, he was the best player on the field. I don't want to hear what anyone else says. Finishing problems.
I'm not going to disagree with that.
I
was feeling good about where he was at.
Finishing is terrible, and we haven't seen him finish this season. But his ability to just run past players. I mean, he made the Miami version of Sideshow Bob fall to the ground. I mean, did we all see? I'm seeing the same game as we all, right? I mean,
No, you're 100% right.
Yeah, 100% the best player. I thought Bouanga bagged 2 goals that game.
He should have. Exactly. But I think that's what was.
That's what makes him the worst player.
Is that he got in the right spots and he made the right choices up until the last possible moment, right? And that's what was frustrating about watching.
And one of the chances, I don't know if it was the one where he passed Falcon or if it was one of the ones he got through like 2 guys. I mean, he has a chance to just put it far post, and instead he puts it. He tries to go to, I think it was Under. He tries to like cut it across to Under when there's a defender right there.
Which we would have begged him to do in other games, right? And so I think now he's like, oh, I have to pass more. Not in that moment, my man.
So
guys, is this our fault?
It might be.
He does. He's a Patreon subscriber.
This is our fault. We kept saying, stop hogging the ball and shooting every time, and now he won't shoot enough.
It is true, though, the first 25, our offense looked great. We were getting in behind them. We were really making them scared. They looked shaky. And you know what happened in the 24th minute? Was that Messi free kick when no one was watching, put it in the back of the net, and it changed the entire mentality of the game. The fans got into it more. Our team got to imagine what it would be like if they scored, and we were shaky from that fucking moment on. It almost felt like black magic.
Yeah, I was looking down. They had the Lakers game on, and I was looking down at my phone, and I see the balls in the net. And I'm like, didn't we just get the set piece? Like, didn't they just get the set piece taken? I don't know what Messi was thinking there. They didn't have the audio playing in the bar, so I was just like, I couldn't hear if the whistle was blowing. I don't think it was. That's what everyone was saying.
It wasn't. That's why they sent it back.
I think Messi just has a good handle on what we're talking about, right? Like, this has happened before. This has happened before where we realize a goal that comes back still affects the vibes in a way that has a big impact. Messi's played enough to know that I maybe I'm giving him too much credit, but can you give Messi too much credit? Like, he's probably sitting there like, it can't hurt. Like, it will be good even if this doesn't count. Like, it still helps. It still helps. And he was right.
Blessing on our side too, because that's just a wake up call. Like, this type of thing's gonna happen. Like, at any moment they can score. So we got to be aware. And actually, I thought that actually helped us out too. But very pleased with the team, like the effort. Like, if you were to tell me before the 2 legs started that we would lose eventually, like, because of a penalty, right? I mean, a stupid penalty too, like losing by 1 goal and holding Miami across 180 plus minutes to 3 goals, and one of those being a penalty. Like, I'd be very pleased with that. Like,
yeah.
From what we've seen earlier in the season to now, I mean, this team has fight. I mean, we've seen it in the San Diego game and up in this game too. The first 25 minutes was all us. I mean, it was glad the way we came out of the game, looking for that away goal that we obviously needed in the end. Probably needed another one with Bouanga, but you can't say the effort wasn't there. I mean, that's all I gotta say.
I really think it's a quality thing. They have a better team. They have a better team than us. They have better players than us.
Also, I want to say, sorry, go ahead. Or you finish?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm starting to get to the point where I'm over the Griezmann rumors.
Yeah.
I almost want to just keep under at this point and let it ride until like I wonder where the point is, like where we can ditch Giroud. Like, is there after this
his contract's up at the end of the year?
Okay,
and I don't think we have the way that Vince explained it to us. I think in a text that we can't actually buy him down in the way that people. It's not like basketball.
I say
like
we
the
just
way
cut
that
him and take the loss on the money. I think that'll benefit us.
Hard to convince but also like that's not going to get us Griezmann either, right? Like it's if Griezmann wants to come here, we should let him come here. He's playing really good soccer.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I don't want to talk about it until we know, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm done with waiting for it.
And then I definitely got flashbacks from Lloris from the League Cup final coming out when the ball is not even. I'm like, why?
A couple of sloppy.
Like putting your arms out, sure, but why are you jumping to where the point where if it's not touched, you can't get back to it?
Yeah,
that I don't understand, and I appreciate Holly said his effort there because I think he hit off the post. He was trying to clear it, so
good
on him.
I thought he saved it first.
Yeah, I did too. I thought. Yeah.
Isaiah, thank you so much for calling. These are really good points, and I agree with you, right? It's like I am not pleased with the team today because I do think we should have finished some of those things, but I'm not embarrassed for losing to Miami 3-2. We said in the fucking preview episode what would be an embarrassing score, and I said 3-0,
like 6-2 or something.
Yeah, and Darren was like 6-0 against Miami.
No, it wasn't that. No,
it was 4-0. But still, it's like we haven't been playing well.
Yeah.
And we did hold a really good team for a while. And I'm not making excuses. We should be playing better. They have a better team than us, hands down. And we almost beat them.
Yeah, 100%.
Thanks for calling, Isaiah. Sorry we made you wait for so long.
Take care. Come back soon. Yeah, I think it makes a good point that we have to remember, like, the bar does move throughout the year, right? You can't say, like, this is where the bar should be for the season, and then they play 5 games, and it's clear that's not where the bar is. And then the 6th game, you're like still looking at the original bar. It's like, that's just not where the bar is right now.
I zoned out for a second and I didn't catch what the metaphor was. So I just agree, you know?
Sure. I mean, that's what I do most of the time.
It's hard when Vince isn't here because one of us has to be talking at all times. But normally he can just say the smart shit. And like you said, if you weren't paying attention, Vince is currently getting Dolo out eyebrow or eyelid tattoos. So he'll be back with those for our preview for the San Jose game.
Everyone's really looking forward to that.
We have,
Amirian Law, Vaughn and Amirian Law, thank you so much for the super chat again. He says, clear case of negligence on the part of Hugo and Aaron for rear-ending Marlon and that PK. You might have a case, JK.
Okay, so he was saying there is potentially a case.
Class action lawsuit.
I think that's more an Aaron Long than it is Hugo. It's Hugo's job to fucking come out there and try to get it. And if anything, they were sort of in his way. Aaron Long
negligence is a good angle.
That was Marlon's ball. And Aaron Long shoved him out of the way to try to get to it. And it moved Marlon's arm unintentionally into that ball. I can't be that mad at the guy who scored our goal and kept us in it. But Aaron Long is to blame for that handball, not Marlon. And I guess it's possible Hugo as well. But I think any goalie would try to get there because it's in the 6-yard box. You're going for that 100% of the time. Although Hugo made some sloppy choices near the end of that game.
Everyone had their fair share of sloppiness, for sure.
Hit subscribe if you're here. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Thank you.
Yeah, help us out. LAFC ex-vet? I don't know. Thank you for the super chat. He says,
the OG Dolo out. This man has been saying Dolo out for years, and I just want to say, you were first, my man. You were wrong then, you're wrong now, but you were first.
He says, bring on talk for the love of God. People seem to assume, this happens a lot. People seem to assume that Jeff Talk is sitting, waiting, ready to come on the show every time. He's not here.
He's got a family.
Yeah. He's just not, we're not like stopping him from coming on the show right now.
He's instead of calling in from the toilet this time, he's watching from the toilet. And honestly, Jeff Talk, he did share in the Discord that his wife made fun of him tonight when Aaron Long scored and said, "This is the guy you hate so much."
That's awesome.
Thank you for the super chat, LAFC vet. I'm giving you a hard time. You're always hanging out, and you can say Dolo out as much as you want. I don't care.
Marcos Ramirez, thank you for the super chat again. He says, you never go full Euro. LAFC went full Euro.
I wish Vince was here to tell us what this meant.
Maybe he's in referencing. What's he talking about?
Marcos,
tell us what you're talking about in a normal chat, in a regular chat. You got Miss Bones on board to bring a sign to the San Jose game.
I need multiple people to bring signs because actually, although Miss Bones always gets on the camera, so Miss Bones, and you have to hide that sign when the camera's on, and then whip it in because they're not going to put you on if you're not going to
put it on. Yeah,
so have
that's a risky move. Someplace you might get thrown out for that.
You're not going to get thrown out for being mean to Bruce Arena. If you like whipped out a firework, they would kick
the league and the team. The league seems pretty protective of the guy.
I will not be paying for your season ticket losses if you do get kicked out, but I do want to get what did Bruce Arena do on the Jumbotron? And again, I'll pay you $200. That'll cover 2 Metro passes.
You said $200? I thought you said $20.
Oh, fuck. $20. $20.
Was it 20? Maybe it was 50. I don't know. We'll go back, rewind the tape.
Hold on. We have more super chats. Why are we putting normal chats on? We can't. These people paid. We have to be kind to their.
I know. I don't want to leave people out. Carlos Serrano, thank you for the super chat.
This is not a meritocracy. This is you pay to play.
Not meritocracy.
First class.
Democracy. He says at least we had great home games during CCC. That's a nice silver lining, sure.
Yeah. The best 2 games we've played this season.
Not enough.
Columbus at home and Miami at home.
It's true.
Right? Outside of that, I've hated most of the games. Actually, Dolo out. Now that I think about it.
Oh, what? Wow, that's what did it. Another super chat from Timothy Peters. He says George Soros pays Dolo's contract.
Okay, yeah, that was while we were talking about the conspiracy, where we're all the podcast hosts are getting together to make their lives harder by defending the coach, the winningest coach of the last 5 years.
Fluffhead, thank you for the super chat. He says, I've seen the Dolo and the damage done. Neil Young, probably. That's what you have to look forward to at the Dolo Out Rally tomorrow. Where is it? Grand
Park. 9 a.m. on a weekday. It's like, that's in LA.
Is it tomorrow?
Is it tomorrow?
It's on Saturday, I thought.
Oh, Saturday? Okay, better. Something else is happening Saturday.
It's on Saturday. Yeah, we're shooting thing.
Oh, right. That mass shooting.
Our schedule.
Yeah.
Oh, we're making a video.
No, we're shooting something for our college reunion. We're making a joke, YouTube. I got a strike on Reddit. Scheduled. I got a strike on Reddit this week that said, you have been warned for making threats against someone's physical harm. All I did was say I was going to set his Tesla on fire. I'm not saying he should be in the Tesla. I just said I'm going to set the Tesla on fire.
Yeah,
again, so YouTube, we're joking. This is satire.
The Tesla's getting the physical harm. So that's not a person.
Yeah.
Did you appeal?
I did appeal. They did not agree with me that I was making fun of the people who say that. I was like, no, I was making fun of the people who want the Teslas to burn.
That's funny. Steve and Darren have definitely taken Quaaludes together. Whoa, huge if true.
Do you think?
I have no recollection. What?
Has anyone done Quaaludes since 1980?
Yeah, I've never done them.
What replaced Quaaludes? Oxycontin.
You guys are still on. The game ended almost 2 hours ago. You're still in the chat? The game ended 2 hours ago.
People are sending super chats. We have to keep going. There were callers, and honestly, this is a big fucking game, a big fucking loss. Let's talk about it. We
also,
all feel like
this
shit.
is how I have fun. This is what I do with my life.
I need a job. If anyone can give me a job, that would be great. I hire hashtag hire Travis.
Hashtag hire Travis.
But send it to like showrunners. I don't want to work at like an office. If you know any people in the business. Another super chat from Amanda. Thank you for the super chat, Miss Bones. Travis said $200. We all heard it.
You did. You
I
did.
did.
It's not the first thing you said, but you did say it.
Okay, here's what I need. I need the sign on a sign that says something along the lines of, "What did Bruce Arena do?" on the Jumbotron, and I need a photo of it to tweet it out and to prove to me that it was you. $200 coming your way. If you can get me those two things, $200. Okay. I said it. I didn't mean to say it, but I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of honor. That's why I won't say Dolo out, even though it would help us. This is my new thing I'm going to say a lot. It's like our lives would be so much easier if we agreed with you, but we have principles. This is my new.
You want us to fan the flames? Maybe we should be.
Wow. Moses says something interesting.
This deal that Travis just struck is our this is a reverse super chat.
This is how
Travis
I'm
is super chat to the audience.
To the audience, if they could do what I want them to do. So really, it's paying them for goods and services. This is a comment that I'm on board with. I'm not Dolo out, but I'm Dolo out curious.
Ooh,
I think that's where I'm
sexy.
At. And I've been there for, I want to say, most of the season. And every time I'm really getting close, we have a Columbus win. We have a dominating Miami at home, shutting down Messi at home in a way that effusively confident after that game in this team. And then
so you're Dolo out edging.
I would say I'm not edging, and I'm certainly not gooning, but I am curious to get closer to there, right?
Uh-huh.
So maybe I am edging.
You're experiencing some Dolo out foreplay.
No, you know what it is? It's tantric Dolo out. I'm really slow burning to the point where I feel that way.
Got it.
Remember early on when we started the show and people were like, you don't have to say so many swears. Children will be able to listen. And now we're like, we talk about cum a lot on this show.
Children, please don't listen.
And Sebastian, stop paying us. We love that you call and hang out. Don't give us money.
Here's the full comment from Moises. He says, I'm not Dolo out, but I'm Dolo out curious. I also think the front office needs some blame here too. Lastly, Bouanga's weaknesses are really showing. He can't pass. He doesn't make the team better. Good summary of a lot of what we agree with so far.
I still have not lost faith in Bouanga's ability. I think Bouanga's having easily his worst stretch since he joined the team. We know his quality. He's making really interesting moves at times. And then the last choice is consistently wrong, especially in this game. And we just need him to get his confidence back. We need him to believe in himself and just feel the game a little bit more, right? There's a lot of people who talk about sports in this sort of heady way or a mathematical way. Athletes, I think about it, are a lot more emotional than they'd be willing to bet about this stuff, right? He wants to score. He even said, I'm addicted to scoring when we were joking around about him being a goal scoring addict last season. That's what he cares about. And he knows he's not doing it. And he hears it when people are yelling at him to pass during games, right? So of course he's going to be in it. I don't know. I think he scores one in Major League Soccer play and it tumbles. It just one and a flip and he's back. That's all we need. Mm-hmm. If they told him to stop flipping, that could be part of the problem. And we need him flipping again.
You might need the flip. You assume because the flip happens after the goal that it's not important to making the goal happen.
No, he cares more about the flip than the goal. That's what we're learning.
And I do. And I think that is a short-sighted assumption.
Another super chat from Tim Morgan. Tim Morgan, thank you so much for the super chat, $4.99. The dog in Travis's tapestry has an LAFC collar. Let's see. How do I do this without showing my bald spot? It is
what is that?
LAFC. So it's the collar around the dog. He's saying it's like the LAFC.
Oh, because it's partially up and weird looking.
but it's really more, it's weird and it's flipped. I wouldn't say it's flipped up the way that our collar is, but it is a white collar, so it's close.
It's a white collar and it's off in some way, and maybe that's enough.
The full tapestry, I like.
Don't go full tapestry. Don't go full tapestry.
Oh, you guys haven't earned. No, we've got enough super chats. I'm giving full tapestry.
Oh my God,
full frontal tapestry. So the reason I like this is that I keep messing up the side. This guy's fucking up catching this deer. He's being dragged along by this dog, and this guy's just hiding, being like, "Look at this stupid guy who can't catch the deer."
This is some White Lotus intro shit.
It's like a tapestry from fucking 19th century France. And it's them being like, this guy doesn't know how to hunt deer. And another guy's making fun of him. I was like, that's funny.
That's just a slice of life social situation.
So this is why you're here listening to the LAFC podcast an hour and 45 minutes after the game. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you're not a subscriber and you're still listening. Why aren't you a subscriber? Patreon, we understand it costs money. Only do that if you can afford it. But it means you just hit the subscribe button. It feels good to do it. You're helping us. It makes us happy.
That's a good sell. It feels real. You might not know this if you haven't done it yet. Hitting that subscribe button feels really good. Yeah, you don't know till you do it, but it feels honestly, really good.
You know what feels even better? Making multiple accounts and hitting subscribe button. Every day making a new account and hitting the subscribe button. Like a hamster trying to get food out of the food bowl.
Something about the team actually that we haven't talked about yet, and I have been meaning to bring up. Joel San in the chat says, why wasn't Martinez played tonight? I think that's a really great question. We didn't see him at all.
I think this. There were a couple of subs that I think if you want to get mad at Dolo, there's an argument to be made about the Under sub for Segura. I had said in the Discord, take out Under and put in Chanot at that point of the game. That's what you do that late in the game when you need defense, and it looked like we were ready to really start hunkering down. Under looked good at the beginning of the game. He didn't look as good near the end of the game, so I was okay with losing Under at that point. But Segura has always been a man who likes to make a few mistakes. He didn't make any to my knowledge tonight. It is interesting to put on Giroud instead of Martinez when we know we were beating them on the break and Giroud can't play on the break. That said, we got 2 or 3 corners after Giroud came on, and each time I was like, oh, I'm happy Giroud is in here. Did he put his head on any of the balls? No, Ryan Hollingshead did. Danny Bouanga did. 2 much shorter people. So, yeah. In hindsight, I would have wanted Martinez. In those moments, I was like, there's a real chance that Giroud could put his head on on one of these balls. And we win the fucking game, and this is not a 2-hour long live stream.
And that's a bad thing that it's a 2-hour long live stream? Or?
Yeah, I don't like you. I feel like we calmed the chat down. The chat was much angrier at the beginning. I think we did a good job of crowd control.
The mob is not as angry. We have another super chat from Mikey. He says, so if no Dolo out, what do we have to change to start getting results or ride out Dolo ball until it starts working? I don't think this is it's not like Dolo ball or no Dolo ball. I think we've talked a lot in this show tonight about things that should change that are just more specific than whether or not it's tied to Dolo.
If Giroud puts 1 or 2 of those balls in the net, you're not mad at Dolo ball tonight, right? You're playing against like I said, Messi was involved in all 3 of the goals. They had 2 goals called back as well, right? I do agree that hunkering back has not worked. And I've seen some comments about that as well. Whenever we hunker back, we do it too soon. And oftentimes it does not work. It worked against Columbus in a game that we were not in control of, and we still got out of Columbus. I don't know. I think this is too simple. Like I sort of reject the premise of the question, right? Like if Bouanga makes the right decision, this isn't a question. We go on. And Dolo ball was great in the first leg. I'm not saying that I'm happy that we lost or that we deserved. I actually do think we deserve to win. I think I think we
should have won that game. Look, and like you said earlier, we had more possession. We were playing a little bit differently in this game than people are like. That's why maybe this is really why it's frustrating when you hear the dole out thing.
More possession compared to what we normally have. I'm not saying we have more possession than Miami.
No, compared to what we normally do. I think there were things that we did in this match that represent the kinds of changes and improvements that people were calling for while complaining about Dolo. Yeah. And then it's the same like Dolo out after this too. So I'm not saying
we had many
like
more
everyone's
scoring
thinking
chances than we did in Columbus.
But like there were differences in how we played, and those things did go well. Like I liked seeing us better than ever at stringing some passes together, holding some possession, beating guys, getting creative and setting up chances. There were things we did better in this match than we have done throughout the season so far. So honestly, it's definitely not what you want to hear, but I think what we need to do is not ride it out, but like keep making these improvements and keep making these tweaks. And we're like, 7 or 8 games into the regular season for MLS. I do think that we can keep making these improvements to the smaller things, and we do need those bigger things to change. But those are not really relevant to. It's like Bouanga needs to finish. Something needs to happen with Giroud. We need to figure out, is it Griezmann? Is it someone else? Like those are bigger things that either they happen or they don't. They don't really have to do with the game plan. And then the smaller things are happening the way we asked for.
I think we've talked about this a lot tonight. Like there is the idea that the games that we have lost in the regular season, not all of them, but a lot of them involved a squad that was rotated and with not our best players. In the games where we play our best players, we seem to do pretty well. If we continue down this path where we're now only playing 1 game a week and we play our best players and we're still looking like this and we're still not winning games, then let's call for the fucking coach. Right? Or let's do something different. But right now, we almost beat Miami. We've talked about this so much, and I see new people in the chat now mad at us. I'm not going to go over this again.
No, I took the question as sincere.
Go back and watch from the beginning.
I took the question as sincere. I think he was like, "What?"
I'm not saying Mikey. I'm not saying Mikey.
Okay.
I think the answer is now that we can play rested once a week. What do we look like? And if we still look like shit, then either the roster has to change, or maybe we do get rid of the coach. I'm not there yet. You're all welcome to be there. I'm not there yet.
Team security Paul out.
Fuck you.
All right, we got to start making changes. We got to start making tough decisions.
We're pretty much done, but I do think we have to get to 2 hours or else we'll feel disappointed in ourselves.
Or should we find a way to feel the pain that we're really asking for and stop just short of it?
You talking about self-harm?
No, I just think that's what happened in the match tonight, and that's maybe what we deserve is to like lose on the 1 yard line.
I'm going to reiterate again for the end of this. This is one of the worst losses in team history. It feels. Before I do, thoughts on the fouls on Miami's second goal. That was such a clusterfuck that they didn't even show the replays. Like there were like 6 or 7 people being taken down. So I don't know. I don't have an informed opinion. We had to come straight on. Maybe you've seen the clips since then. But like I don't have an informed opinion of that moment. Besides that, I saw 4 different people tackling each other on both sides.
I don't want to finish this episode, as crazy as it sounds, without talking about the insanity of the match. Like we have not talked about the chaos.
Yeah,
it
was a very CONCACAF night.
It was nuts. Part of what made this loss so frustrating was that Miami is such a frustrating team. They are like that one guy in the pickup game who's just fucking annoying to play with. That's their whole fucking team. They're constantly embellishing. They're constantly.
Yeah, but they're really good.
Oh, yeah. And they're really good. Well, that's what makes them annoying. If they're harmless, they're harmless. But essentially, I think they successfully overwhelmed the ref. Like there was just so much shit that they were pulling all at once. Like usually you have like a guy on the team doing all the shit housing. This is they're just all doing it constantly. The brawl at the end was really smart for them, right?
Yeah. stopped the game. It got our players in their heads. We also had a couple of chances right before we started throwing. I think there were literal punches thrown. Someone got choked. It
was completely insane.
They wanted both sides to get cards, right? That would have been helpful to them if we get dispirited. So it was a smart move for them at that moment to get under our skin and make really hard fouls and know that we're going to be frustrated and try to fight them.
Part of their game plan is to fuck with the game, with the flow of the game. And they did a really good job of that. There was also just like cosmic things that were crazy. There was the free kick getting called back. There was like, how many? They had like 3 goals called back. Like, it was crazy. Hundreds of thousands of chances were generated total by both teams. Suarez at one point started complaining very vehemently to the ref about a handball in the box from Hollingshead in a play.
But he did the handball.
And he did the handball. Like, these people are like, they know what they're doing.
Well,
also, the refs were not like the refs were rattled too. That's what I'm saying. Like, they rattled us and they rattled the refs. The flag went up for the Messi goal that got called back. The flag didn't go up till after.
Well, that happens sometimes when they're letting play go, right? But it is like
he called it a goal. They were celebrating, and then the flag went up.
It was wild when Messi scored the free kick. He called it a goal, and then he had to call it back after he was the one who said, "No, I blew the whistle." And then he was like, "The more I think about it." And I will say, I saw him waiting to shake Messi's hand after the game.
He was in over his head.
I like CONCACAF refereeing a lot of the times because I think sometimes we don't let people play and we let the embellishment take over the game, right? And I do like that people can get hit hard and he's not going to call it. But there were moments where multiple people, it seemed like part of the second half strategy from Miami was play really fucking physical.
They play dirty proudly.
Yeah. And like, I mean, I don't know if it's dirty so much as it's like hard, rattle us. We've done that before. We do it against Ricky Puig. We played hard against Messi last game. But like,
I'm not saying we don't play dirty. I'm not saying we didn't play dirty in this match.
I don't think it's dirty so much as
feels dirty to me.
I like that part of the game, right? That sort of like mind game aspect of it. I agree with you that the ref was overwhelmed by the number. Like in that possession before that goal, he couldn't keep track of how many people were physically grappling with each other who weren't involved with the play. Delgado got the fuck kicked out of him. Like he hurt his back. I saw someone get dragged down in the box. On the far side of the field, someone got dragged out. Like I have no idea what happened. I'm gonna have
it all happened in like 4 seconds.
The ref saying it was a goal after the Messi free kick was bizarre to me.
He's the one who didn't blow the whistle.
He knew he didn't blow the whistle, right? That's strange. He was like, "Oh well, Messi must be right." Messi knows what he's doing. I fucked up.
They're like deferential to the legends. They're like, "Oh well, they know better than me. I've only been reffing for like 6 years. They've been playing for 30."
I get it. I wanted Messi to win too. I hate doing this twice a week. No, it just is so like it is one of the more wild games I've ever watched. It was probably the most CONCACAF game we've ever played. Like probably the prettiest game we've been a part of was the final against Philadelphia, right? Where it was like really fun, crazy soccer. This is like, you know how water polo players are just beating the shit out of each other under the water? That's what this felt like, right? There's a game on the surface that the ref's paying attention to, and then under the water, Ordaz, they're trying to get Ordaz to choke him again.
Yeah. There were like just slowly percolating like 10 boxing matches happening over the course of the game.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for hanging out with us for 2 hours. I mean, the numbers are still great this far in. If you're not a subscriber to the YouTube and you're hanging out, please hit subscribe. It helps us a lot. It helps people find, and thumbs up as well. We also do an audio version of this. We're going to have a preview for the San Jose episode, which I can only assume will be a lot of fun and not at all about how sad we are. So subscribe on YouTube and Apple Podcasts as well. And then if you like this, you want to talk about LAFC for 2 hours after the game and you want to say thank you, Super chats are great. They're great. You can also become our a Patreon over at patreon.com/happyfootsadfoot. You get to join our Discord. You get money off of merch. You get ad-free content. And we got some new exclusive merch coming that isn't ready yet, but it's for patrons only. It just helps us make the show. So, and it means a lot, and it's fun to hang out with new people in the Discord as well. So over at patreon.com/happyfootsadfoot. Anything you want to leave us with, Darren?
The season is long. We can still be the team we want to be, and I hope that's where the roller coaster takes us next. And if it doesn't, it's going to be a dark couple of weeks.
I'm not looking forward.
We'll be there for it.
Remembering we have to do a podcast even in the seasons where we're bad.
I can promise that we will find ways to make that fun in a really dark and
I had fun
way.
Tonight, despite how dark this.
That's what I'm saying. This is fun for us.
And thanks for hanging out. So I just to rephrase your quote, the arc of the LAFC universe is long
and bends towards justice.
But it bends towards trophies. Is that what you're saying?
I completely stepped on it. I'm sorry, Travis. That was great.
Well,
it bends towards trophies.
Pick up. Yep. That's what we do in the audio only podcast that you guys don't see when we fuck up. We go pick up, and then we pick up and say it again. Then we act as if we've never heard the joke again before. Little peek behind the curtain. The professional show we put on.
That's not what I do. I just genuinely, it just gets me again. I just laugh again. I'm being honest.
I'm always faking, baby.
All right.
I love you, Darren. I'm joking.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, wait. It's a home game Saturday? Ooh, that's going to be a depressing home game. I love you. Bye.
I love you. Bye.